Today, you're going to understand why copying what you see online never works the way you think it is going to. You'll see what's actually driving sales in big businesses and why the invisible part is actually misleading. And also, I'm going to talk about how most women unknowingly build businesses that can't hold the level they actually want to reach. By the end of this episode, you will know exactly what you have been missing and why it has nothing to do with having more effort or being the most talented known person on the planet or even with consistency. Hi, I'm going to help ambitious women just like you build backend experiences that attract, convert, nurture, and retain clients without relying on constant visibility or launching all the time. And today we're talking about something no one really explains super well online, which is the iceberg effect in business and why copying what you see is the fastest way to actually slow down your growth. What most people see actually online is we see the content. We see when someone is launching. We see someone else offers from their website or maybe from the link in their Instagram account or so on. And so naturally, the reflect is if I do what she's doing, I will get the same result. But here, right away, we're thinking, I've already tried that. And something that I want to share with you is that we learn a lot by seeing. We learn a lot by watching. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't watch what other business owners, content creators, big companies are doing. But here is the issue is that you are only seeing the tip of the iceberg. And this is something you have to absolutely understand. No one is actually transparent with you on how their business are happening except with their own paid clients. So if you're looking at a business and this person is a business owner, she's only sharing really the truth of how her business is holding with her clients, which makes sense because this is her own property, how she has built her business. And that's why also I share only with my paid clients exactly the funnels, the emails, all of the things that I am building. And most women who are online trying to replicate someone's content or someone's launch style or even someone's pricing is going to really hit a big roadblock in their business. And really, I think like they're doing that. And this is something I have done, by the way, in the past. So even when I say they are doing this, I have 100% done this, being like, okay, oh, you have a freebie. Let me go into freebie to see your funnel and let me try to replicate a funnel the same way. And the funnel doesn't work. Because it is not just the emails. It is not just this. Okay. And I feel there was a big misunderstanding on what we are seeing compared to what is in the back end and what is actually happening underneath. So what you see above the surface, okay, is not a lot. And so let me tell you what is the visible part, which feels like a lot. It feels like a lot because it is a lot of work. Instagram content, TikTok content, like all of your social media content, maybe podcasts, maybe YouTube videos, and so on. You have your emails, the emails that you are sending. You are doing launches. You have a sales page that people can see when they click on a link in your podcast, or from maybe you have a mini chat automation that when people comment a word on your Instagram post, then they get this message that send them towards your sales page. And this is what everyone copies. Everyone copies the same mini chat automations. Why not also? But this is not how you're going to double your revenue this year. And you already understand that. You understand that very deeply, that you are someone who is unique. You understand very deeply that your work is unique, what you're doing is unique. And it took you actually a long time to really nail what is your gift and how you want to express this, and worked so much on your messaging and on your content. All of this is work you have done through a very long time. This hasn't taken you just 2 weeks. But I want you to understand that there was a big difference between seeing the surface level of things, okay, which is the messaging of someone. And even when you see the messaging of someone, it doesn't mean that your messaging is going to be so freaking good, right? You have seen already so many people with very good messaging, and it took you a while to understand how you could make your messaging also so freaking good. And it was not by copying their messaging, right? So we do see the surface level. Okay, we do see when someone is creating maybe even a free offer or a low ticket offer. We can even opting in, and then they send emails, and we see their emails, and we think that this is how they made millions, but it is not. So here's what actually makes the money under the surface. Okay, and so really our tip of the iceberg is very small, and then we have a huge part underneath. Okay, and this is so important, which is the backend structure. And when we think about it, we're like, oh, duh, And honestly, if this is how you're feeling right now, I feel you, but also like we have to be honest with each other. We know that this moment was happening. This moment of building your backend structure doesn't have to happen right now, maybe for you. So I'm going to actually be very clear with, if you are making sales on the front end, then you have to think about your backend structure. If you're doing a lot of the thing just by yourself, it's not just about hiring a VA, hiring an OBM. Like the work that I do has nothing to do with what is your OBM doing or your VA is doing. No, because your backend structure is actually how your leads, they are going to be segmented, let's say. So absolutely everyone who comes in your world right now is going into the same places. And your email list, you have this big email list, and you probably sending your emails to everyone also on your email list, which of course they are not all interested into the things that you are talking about right now. And you may have more unsubscribes than if you didn't do this. And if you don't have unsubscribe, by the way, you may not be sending enough emails. And a lot of people who are making tons of sales are having a tons of unsubscribe, which is very healthy to have unsubscribe as much as you have new people coming in. When you actually have a lot of things happening under the surface of your iceberg, what happens is that you will see that when someone clicks but doesn't buy on something else is going to happen. You will also start working on what happens after someone buys. You're going to also see how my offers are connected to each other. And not just, oh, it's logical. People have taken this, I pitched this, and then now they're going to buy X, Y, and Z. And if that works, that's cool. Like I don't want you to change something that is working. But if right now the way that it's working is you talking about your offers on your content, in your Instagram stories, doing your emails and your launches, yes, please do this. But if you're at your capacity doing this, you're not going to be doubling your income this year by doing the same thing. Okay, you're not going to double your prices and double how many clients you have, or will you? I certainly won't. And the thing that we have to see is that when we look at our back end, when we look at our front end, we want to see where we are at capacity, what we are doing, and also reclaim a little bit of our time. Because, and I'm not saying this of we shouldn't work a lot. Like some days I work so much, but I so fucking love it. But some days I don't do fuck all because I don't want to. And or my energy is not good or something. We have options, but those options are not going to impact how much money I'm making. So something that we want to understand is how sales are made also outside of social media. Not because we want to stop posting, not because we want to stop launching, or maybe you want, and if you want, you definitely need to have funnels and structure already in place, but it's because we want to have the choice. And this is why we have our businesses online, because we want to have the choice. We want to have the choice to wake up at 5 a.m. because we freaking love it, or to wake up at 9 a.m., or to work in the evening, or to work in the morning, or to do whatever we want. Okay. So we want to have options. And I think sometimes when I see, and I'm in a lot of spaces, I'm in a lot of masterminds and so on. And when I see that our only question, and I put myself in because this happened to me so many times also, our only question is like, oh my goodness, I want more people to join my signature program, or I want more people to join my core offer or my mastermind. And all we think about is what can I launch as a micro offer to direct people into it? And this is 100% a valid way. But how fucking annoying it is, I need to stop swearing, how annoying it is that we always have to think this way. So I want to actually change how you're thinking about your business, because this is not actually how you have to be making money. And it's not that this should not be part of your strategy. It can be when you actually have a micro offer that will fit perfectly what you're doing. So, for example, if you are having in your signature program, you are going to focus on something specific the month of March, and you're like, oh, maybe I do a 3-day training just for the women inside my signature program. Or I think they would absolutely love it if for 3 days in a row I was doing a training on this, this, and this. Why not opening this up to your entire audience? Yeah, and promoting this on the front end. And of course, we can do some back end strategies also for this. But you see, this will be something you already do, and you can already have that set up and have that on the front end. But because you wanted to do this, you wanted to do this for the woman inside your signature offer and so on. But if it's to always find and wait for the download, I'm going to wait to see what is the download of this new micro offer that I need to do to funnel people into my mastermind or my group program or core self-paced course. The problem is that what happens when you don't have the download or the capacity to just add more? And why do you need more? Because you see, you're like, I need to create this offer to funnel people, or as a vehicle, if you prefer to use this word, as a vehicle towards my other offer. Well, why not doing this in the backend also? So you just set up one time the content and then people can just opt in. You actually are doing way too much work on things that could be already existing without you. And big businesses, they don't make money because of just one post, because of one funnel even, or because of one launch. Okay. They make money because everything underneath, after the launch, after the funnel, after the post, is engineered to hold volume and to repeat sales, to have repeat sales. And so what that means, especially when I say volume, is when you start understanding how much impact you can have on people, when you understand the changes that you have on lives, like your work is changing lives. When I see my clients, I can see how much the work we have done together has changed their lives by the ability to just go and spend 5 hours at the playground with their kids, forgetting their phones at home, and they don't even care. And then they come back home and they have sales and people coming into their other offers from this, because everything has been engineered from the client experience, from the delivery of the offer, from exactly what they are getting, but also obviously from the funnels. Everything has been engineered for them to be served without my client being here. So you don't have to be here in the weekend answering messages if you don't want to. And I'm not saying don't answer messages in the weekend. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But once again, we are building those businesses for what? For the freedom of having choices. We want to have choices. If for 2 days I don't want to look at my phone, I'm not going to look at my phone. You get the point. So why copying never works? When you copy the visible part, you're actually copying tactics. Okay, you're copying tactics without context. You don't have the context of the business, the context of the offers, the brand, all the strategies that were actually designed for a completely different backend. My backend is not going to be like your backend, and your backend is not going to be like the other person in your niche also that has a similar business. That's why your backend is not supporting you right now when you try to have the same backend as someone else. And that's why you need to post, you need to launch micro offers to feed your signature program every month. And it's not a bad strategy. Okay, it's not a bad strategy. I actually just love this strategy. I love launching. And that's something that, by the way, so many mentors told me, oh, Gwen, your messaging could be, yeah, I hate launching and I don't need to, but I actually love launching. I love launching when I want to be launching. Okay. And I want funnels and I love them when I want them. Just don't tell me what to do. So something that I want you to understand is it's not a bad strategy. It's an excellent strategy. And if you are in a moment in your business where when you need more brand expansion, when you are building something new in your business, when you are getting known for something, doing a lot of work on the front end is actually very good. And that's also a place where in this new business that I'm building for like this last almost year around funnels, that it is a work that I have to do also on placing a lot of work on the front end, which is absolutely not a work that I had to do in my past business where I was already known. And so my content took a very different place, and even my launches compared to my back end. So focusing only on the front end is not bad, okay? And it's actually essential when you are starting your business. If you're starting your business, if you don't know how to sell at all, like you will say something and no one is buying, it's going to be the same on your back end, okay? And what happens when we do more front end is that we can do more volume and more testing of the messaging and so on, right? So something that I want you to understand already is focusing only on front end selling with launches and content only is going to get you so far. If you are already making 5 figures a month, you will be making so much more money if you had funnels. And that's why as soon as I said that, I start laughing because I see it with all of my clients, how insane this is. And women making tons of money online are not focusing just on social media and content to make money. I can promise you. And which is so funny because so many of them are going to tell you no one cares about funnels, you shouldn't focus on funnels. They all have funnels, or they're hiring right now people to build their funnels. And so they're going to have to soon change their messaging because they are all starting to have funnels. I want you to imagine if the only way you have to make sales is to book sales calls, if it is to post on social media, how is your business going to survive when you are sick, when you are busy, when you are pregnant, when, I don't know, there is some grief, there is something that's happening, like life is lifing. And so many things are happening. And I actually shared like on my Instagram just a few days ago, I actually didn't plan on talking about this, but we are here now, that I had the last couple of months have been very, very challenging for me at so many levels. It's like I didn't have any problem with my health to this level for I can't even remember when. And my finances, where it's like if I have been blind of my finances and my health. And I may be laughing about it, but I can promise you I was not all the time laughing, and I feel I have my up and downs with it. So it took me on a good day today. But what has been so important with me is that I have the option to unplug, that I trust my businesses to be able to make money when I'm not here. I trust people who are interested in my work to be able to come into my work and be nurtured and convert by themselves without me being here answering DMs about everything. Do I answer DMs? Every day. Every day I have tons of DMs. Yes. And I'm very happy about it. If my DMs were very quiet, I would be like, why people are not sending me DMs? So I'm very happy. Send me DMs, ask me questions. But what I want you to understand is that this is not the only way that I'm going to make sales. And that's not the only way that all women who are also making tons of money online are making money. And what I see is happening for a lot of women. And I want you to understand, I have worked with over 1,000 women online. Yeah. And I have seen way too many waiting too long. Okay. And what happens when you wait too long is that you start to be burnout, and your launches actually, they may give you result, but they are like very how to say that, it just like comes with my hand on my chest being like they are draining. Okay, it's very draining. Need a break. I need a break after, like, okay, it's good that I'm not launching every month or so on. And so the idea is to not have this, to really creating and launching from overflow, because we are having so much energy and we really want to serve our people. Okay. And I feel like this is the feeling you had also at the beginning. That's the feeling I had at the beginning, serving for serving and not serving just for the actual conversion. And a lot of women are very tired with this. And this is because they focused too long on just content messaging and launching without starting to build the structure. And we have to build a structure and we have to test it a little bit, okay, before it works. I'm saying that for some of my women, actually, as soon as their funnels are out, they make tons of sales and 5 figures and so on. But sometimes it takes a little bit more time. I love transparency, so I'm going to tell you straight. Sometimes the funnels or the micro offer or some of the emails need to be tweaked, and it's going to take us a few weeks, to tweak all of this. It's not always instant. But something that is important here is that most women, they don't actually have a visibility problem. Okay. And what I see the problem is that they want to say that they have a visibility problem, that if only more people were seeing their offers, their content on social media, then they will have more sales. But what I see is then women starting ads to point towards their content and not having more sales. And anyone who is an ads expert will tell you exactly what I'm telling you, is that when you don't have a funnel, there is no point having ads on it, having ads on your offers and on your content when you don't have the structure and the backend that is going to be able to hold volume. Why would you open a tab with like lots of volume and not have the backend that is going to convert those people? That sounds so silly, right? And this is why actually before doing the work of high visibility, we want to first set up for volume. And honestly, like when I think about this, it's just a little bit backward. It's just a little bit backward. And a lot of women also who are starting ads realize after starting ads that they didn't have a funnel. And so this is why actually the money that they spend on ads, their ad spend is actually maybe equal to the money that they are making. And they need to refine their funnel, because it's always the funnel that is going to actually make you money. It's not the ad that is making you money. It's the backend structure after someone see your ad that is going to make you money. And all the ads experts, all they want is that you first set up your funnel. You can ask absolutely everyone. And then they're going to help you set up the ads. With the ads, they are bringing traffic to you. But traffic without the backend structure to hold volume means nothing. And so here we want to understand that we don't want to only build a business where we always posting, we always launching, we always just counting on people answering our DMs to make money today. And then the moment we pull back, everything slows down, which is the opposite of my clients. Okay, my clients, they make sales on repeat, from the beach, from the playground, from being on holidays, from traveling, all the time. It doesn't matter if they were working today or they were not. And at a certain level, the game changes, and you are at this level, and you need to stop asking, what do I need to launch this month to drive people into my signature offer? Or let me wait for this new download to come. What is going to be? No, you need to ask yourself those questions. How do people enter my world? Okay. What experience are they having once they're entering my world? What experience are they having? What did I build as an experience? What happens after they say yes? The first one, the second one, the third one, what happens? What happens if they don't say yes? What happens if they say no? Or if they write radio silent? How does my business sell when I'm not there? And those are the questions CEO ask themselves. And this is exactly why I have created Funnel Queen Mastermind. Not to help you just build a funnel. Okay, building a funnel is cool, but it's really to help you build what sits under the surface of the tip of your iceberg. Okay, from your content, your launches, and so on. A backend that matches your level. A system that will actually leverage your visibility efforts, like all the efforts that you're doing for your visibility with your content and your front end, to actually be leveraged, and all of this to come into friction, into sales. What we do is really building an experience that keep selling even when you finish launching, even when you are not posting. Funnel Queen Mastermind is for women who already know how to sell on the front end, but don't want to be the only thing holding their business together anymore. So if you feel like you're doing a lot and you are very good at what you're doing, but you know that your priorities have to change this year, and you have realized after listening to this episode today that your backend needs an upgrade, Funnel Queen Mastermind is where we start the work of upgrading your entire backend. You could say that you're going to do this in 2 months or in 6 months when things are calmer. Like now I'm launching this, and this, and then I'm so busy, and then I'm going to be, I'm going to have so much time in a few months, of course. Did you have so much time last year? I don't know for you, but there is no such things as having so much time. You are an entrepreneur. I can promise you that you are going to find something to do. You are going to find something to keep yourself busy with. So no, do not tell me this, because the reason you have no time is that you spend so much time on your front end. You spend so much time creating content. You spend so much time doing the things on the front end. And it's not that you will not have to do that after, or that you're not getting to do this after, let's say, but it's rather that you can easily make twice the money from what you are already doing if you had actually an infrastructure supporting you and doing all the heavy lifting for you of identifying new leads, attracting new leads, identifying them, serving them with the perfect offer for them instead of just blasting everyone with the same stuff. You don't need another VA, okay? You need to build an alter ego system, same as you, but selling 24/7. Because smart women don't sell 24/7. Their systems do sell 24/7. And this week only, the next 2 women who will sign up to Funnel Queen Mastermind will get a one-to-one session with me. So we're going to be able to strategize the entire backend and really identify which funnel is going to be key for them to build right now. And we're going to already start mapping it together during our one-to-one. The link is below for you to save your spot. Then immediately jump in my DM so I can identify that you were the first 2 women who joined, and let me know so we can schedule our one-to-one together and strategize your entire funnel already. I absolutely can't wait. I will talk to you all very soon. Have an amazing week.